Hello and welcome to this new edition of On the Record with me, Shireen Bhan. KV Kamath has been at the head of several important, significant reforms as far as India's economy is concerned, from the banking landscape to now what is likely to happen on the infrastructure pipeline as well as the digital landscape. This is also a time when inflation continues to be front and center, with the Reserve Bank raising interest rates to the highest level in 4 years and policymakers continuing to flag caution over rising prices. The world is moving towards more tightening, but the question is that warranted for India? Joining me now to discuss a whole host of issues with respect to the state of the economy is KV Kamath, Chairperson of the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. Mr. Kamath, always a pleasure. Many thanks for joining us here on CNBC TV18. Appreciate your time. Let me get started by talking to you about the state of the economy with regards to inflation and what you make of the commentary that's coming from the MPC, specifically the minutes of the MPC's meeting, which clearly tell you that there is a division even within the MPC on the road ahead. What do you make of that?
Morning, Shireen. Thank you for talking with me on this important subject, an interesting subject. I am slowly coming around to the view that there's a disconnect external between global thought leaders and central bankers. Thought leaders in the sense theoretical thought leaders as to how to deal with inflation and interest rates. If you see what has happened in the West, it's a complete break from theory. And I think it is right time for us to also rethink whether we need to see whether and what is the connection between interest rate and inflation by breaking down the components of inflation and then seeing what medicine is required. In this context, before I talk about the commentary, let me talk about how, for just a minute, how well the central bank and the government have managed these two over the last 2 years, 3 years, and provided enough liquidity along the way. And that's why I think we are where we are. We did not increase interest rates as one could have expected. A knee-jerk reaction, no, it was not done. Liquidity was not tightened, it was kept easy. And you have the results to see. Look at it today. I would think that the central bank continue to do what it had done. Watch carefully, and that's what it is doing, and not necessarily try to do what the West may or may not be doing to find our own solution. As far as we are concerned, I just want to make another point. I think I'm getting increasingly disturbed by the fact that we have probably no reliable data good to go on. This is the policy maker, the regulator, the monetary policy. And it's coming out now, particularly, let us say, in terms of CPI now. And I'm sure the same will be in terms of other indicators. Question that comes to my mind is, are we measuring right? And I think we now need to measure right because we are no longer a small economy. And I'm looking at our country growing from 3.5 trillion to 7 trillion. And this is something that we need to fix now in terms of measurement, so that policy then can work with numbers if they are comfortable with. I think this is the reason I would think we see some debate in the MPC.
So, important point, and I think this is a reiteration of what you've said previously as well. You believe that there is a disconnect, and that disconnect fundamentally in your assessment is on account of the fact that there is no reliable data, in your words, when we talk about inflation. But given where we find ourselves today and where that's led the MPC's deliberations, do you believe that we're likely to hit a pause, or given what at least the RBI members are saying, that we are perhaps likely to see further tightening?
I really don't want to make a call on it. I think that's something that the policymakers need to do. But I would think that one would need to look at CPI or other indicators a little more, with more focus, as it were, to understand whether this is something that we can take a decision on. Look at the system, as it were. There is a growth momentum. What is happening in that context? Take other, I would say, indicators that come our way in terms of dipsticks or any other measure that you could take to determine what is happening, and then take a decision. Because we do not want to end up in a situation where we raise interest rates and put an engine, the economic engine, which is now fine-tuned put it out of gear. Getting it back in June is going to take time.
Do you believe that we're at the risk of seeing that happen? You talked about the economy being a fine-tuned engine currently, but do you believe that further tightening could risk and destabilize the recovery that we have been in the midst of?
Let me say it very clearly that I have complete confidence in the steps taken by the central bank as the monetary policy authority and the central government. So I do not think that they will allow this machine to get out of tune. I said there is a risk of that if some people get on this path that interest rates increases. We need to go in sync with the West. That's all I'm saying. But I'm sure that the monetary policy authorities will do the right thing, and they've done it over 3 years. So I have absolutely total confidence in what they will do.